everyone, welcome to my channel. It's me, Mish, the Dorky Reader, and today's video is my August TBR video where I get to choose the books that I'll be picking from in the month of August. I have with me my trusty TBR jar, and I also have on hand a spinning wheel spinner that has my entire TBR on it. At the very end, I'll probably do one spin on that. I think there's only 10 or 11 prompts left in the jar, so my goal today is to empty it and to use all of them, which will be really exciting. I might still have my kids choose a prompt if they want to, but it's all gonna get emptied today. And then we'll restock it with the hundreds of prompts I have from the past and get to start over. It's been a couple years, or almost a couple of years, so I'm pretty excited about that. Outside, it's super hot. I do plan on spending a lot of time indoors this month, or in the month of August anyway, because I'm technically filming in July. But it's really hot outside, like stupid hot, because I live in one of those places where it's a raging inferno outside. So hopefully I'll get a lot of reading done. We'll see, knock on wood. But it's also the back to school month for my kids, and so that'll happen near the end of the month, but that might create a little bit of a hiccup in my reading. But having a good chunk of books to choose from is going to make at least it more fun, I think. Usually it keeps me from having a reading slump if I have a greater variety to pick from. Okay, so I'm going to pick the first prompt just to get us started, and then I'll ask if they want to play for the next ones. All right, so the first prompt is, a reread. So there are several books I want to reread. I'll bring them out and show you. I don't know if you can see it. I don't think you really need to, do you? It is fun sometimes, I think, to read my bad handwriting. All right, so anyway, I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back, and I have with me a stack of 3 books. There were more also that I was interested in rereading, but I just decided to keep it simple and to go with the first 3 that I was pulled to. So the first one on that list is Legend by Marie Lu. I have a couple books by Marie Lu that I haven't picked up, and the main reason is I feel like I need to continue this series before I move on to those. So to stop myself from holding me back, does that make any sense? I thought that this would be a really good option for me. This is it middle grade or is it YA? I can't remember. But it is for a younger audience, but it's really good, and I remember really loving it. And then I never read book 2, and I do own book 2 now, so it would be an option for me to read through this one and then maybe pick up book 2. Oh, and just so you know, it's kind of like a dystopian. I feel like I forgot to mention that somehow. Anyway, another book on my reread list is Clockwork Angel, and I love this book and its sequel, but I never made it to book 3 because when I read it, it was so long ago, it hadn't been released yet. Now that it's been released for many years, and so many people say that the 3rd book is like the best of the best, and I own it, I feel like I really need to go back into this world and reread it. Also, I love Cassandra Clare, and I think she nails romance like no one else. So, Clockwork Angel, option 2. The 3rd book on my list is Thrown in the Dark by A.K. Caggiano. I've mentioned this book on this channel so many times as being one of my favorite romanticises, and that still holds true. And I really want to read it again, especially after getting an Allurial package. I got all 3 books from Allurial, and they're so pretty. It's like a new kind of special edition they had. And so I thought I should reread this wonderful book one more time, but it hasn't been that long since the last time I read it compared to the other 2. So I'm thinking I will put this to the side this month because the other 2 I think are gonna win out. Now, do I go with Clockwork Angel or do I go with Legend? Both are really good books by great authors, so I'm a little torn. This one is keeping me, though, from reading other books. But this one, I've never finished the series, and it's so good. I think it has the potential to be one of my favorite series. What do I do? Maybe there'll be an opportunity to pick one of these again later. So for now, I'm gonna go with, okay, this one is probably a lot shorter. That always pulls me in. No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do Clockwork Angel because I really want to finish the series. All right, book 1 done. Let me see if I can get a kid to come pull a prompt. All right, Emma's here. She's gonna pull the first prompt, and she wanted me to show you her unicorn. Oh, she's picking. I don't know if she can reach in there, Emma. Can she? You got one? Oh, there's 2. Whoop. I'll put that one back in. All right, you got it?
Yes.
All right, thank you. The prompt. Woo! Oh, careful, Emma. You almost broke that glass. Oh, guess what, Emma? It says Emma chooses between 3 options. So I'm going to pick 3 books, and then you have to pick one of those 3 books, okay?
Can you have my unicorn?
Yeah, you can have your unicorn. All right, so I'm back, and I've chosen these 3 books. First, I'm going to go over them with you and kind of give you an overview of what they are, and then Emma is going to choose for me. So the first book on the list, very specifically because it's Emma, I chose The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon, Volume 3. Emma is Emma, but this character is also like Emma in the fact that she is very independent and funny and charming, and it's also a wonderful historical romance, which is fun. The next book I have on the list is The Legend of the Nine-Tailed Fox. I love Asian fantasies, and this has a kitsune fox that is taken by a demon hunter down into hell, and together they must escape. And I think that sounds fun. It's also a romance. And the third, another romance, is a contemporary romance, which this month I'm really in the mood for because I've made it all through summer without reading a single one, and I think the time is nigh. So this book is a figure skating romance where a figure skater falls in love, I think, with a hockey player. And together they have to team up and do figure skating like a pair, like a dance type thing. And I think it sounds really romantic. And also it's a very slow burn, which is my favorite kind of romance. That means it takes a lot of time before they finally come together and are romantic. Okay, Emma, I want you to choose one of these 3. I'm gonna hold them up like this, and you can use your finger or your unicorn to choose a.
This one!
Emma has chosen the book for me. She chose The Legend of the Nine-Tailed Fox. Her unicorn did actually, see. Thank you, unicorn. He's here. She's gonna choose a prompt and throw it at me. Perfect. Oh, the prompt says a brown book. Another color one. I think near the end of this bucket, all the colors were chosen. We also had Pride a month in June where I did all colors, so I'm a little colored out. However, it's okay. I'm gonna find a brown book and we're gonna read it. Okay, I chose this one really quickly. I've been wanting to finish this series or start up on this series again ever since season 2 of this book series on TV came out, and I was like, dang it, I can't watch it because I haven't read book 2. And that book is The Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan. Riordan? Boy, I can't say it right, I'm sure. But anyway, this is book 2 in the Percy Jackson's series, and I'm excited to finally pick up on it and read again. Also, it's a middle grade, so that makes it really fast and easy to read. Yay, that was a really fast prompt. Let me see if Odin's up to pulling a prompt. All right, Odin's here. He's gonna choose a prompt. He's coming to this side. Ready? You want to read it too? Oh, you want me to read it? Okay. A book with more than one author. Oh man, I think I know what book I'm gonna choose because I only know a couple. And this one I've had on my TBR so many times. You're gonna get sick of seeing it until I read it, but I'll be back with it. All right, well this one came really quickly. It was Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I'm gonna put this on my TBR again in the high hopes that I actually pick it up. It's a fast-paced, exciting sci-fi book by 2 of my favorite sci-fi authors, so I'm excited to see where this one goes. Hopefully it is good and better than the Red Star Rebels that I didn't like as much by Amy Kaufman solo. But I do love the combo of the 2, and I have hopes that this will be a good book. All right, cool. Well, since all 3 have gone once, I will go again, and I will pull. I mean, I'm doing all of them, so I don't know why I'm doing this. But anyway, here we go. A book with a weapon on the cover. Ooh, this is exciting. I get to look at covers, and I love to do that. So I'll be right back with some books with weapons on the cover. So I have with me a bunch of books that have weapons on the cover, apparently a very common theme with fantasy books and non-fantasy books. So there were way too many books to choose from and I got a little overwhelmed. So I just grabbed a handful of them and I'll just show you a handful of what I have. So the first one I have is Saints and Monsters, which looks to have a dragon on the cover. And I remember picking this book up because I was looking for a book that wasn't too spicy at the time. Typically for me, with romantasy and romance books, if it's not too spicy, I have a higher chance of liking it. Not that I don't like spicy books, they have their time and place, and I have enjoyed them, but overall, I am less likely to really love a book if it's like super, super spicy, because sometimes the spice can be written kind of cheesy and cringe. So I have Saints and Monsters here as one option. I have Bound to Fall by A.K. Caggiano. I've had this book on my TBR several times. I do really love this world she's created, and I remember reading the first chapter of this book, plus a first chapter of a couple others. When I had this on my TBR, I ended up choosing the other book, but I was really torn because this first chapter was also really good. So this is a good option. I have All Quiet on the Western Front, which is a historical fiction. Lately I've been branching out a little and reading books that aren't in my typical genre, and I've actually found that I'm really enjoying them. I still prefer fantasy and sci-fi, but I guess as I've gotten older, I have a little bit more tolerance for some of the mundane. Not that this is mundane, that's wrong impression. Anyway, I remember watching this film a long time ago when I was a kid. It was made in the 1930s, I believe. Very, very old film. And I remember being surprised by how much it moved me, that it was actually a really good movie for its time. And so I have high hopes for this book. It's a classic. Another option I have is Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher. I'm always on a quest to find a 5-star T. Kingfisher book for me. I've liked every book she's written. I've given all of them 4 stars. They are all really good. I don't really know what it is. There's just something about it that has never really reached 5-star level for me. Maybe this is the one. I have high hopes for this. And then last I have more, but like I said, that I'm showing you just because I just grabbed these ones, is Metal Slinger by Rachel Schneider. I hear there's a really big twist or surprise at the end, and I don't want to get spoiled as to what it is. So I'm excited to pick this up now before I get spoiled. It is a more recent romantasy, and I believe book 2 has already come out, so that is an option as well. I do want to read it before I get spoiled by accident. So I think Paladin's Grace, because I'm always looking for a good T. Kingfisher, and this one is supposedly a romance between a paladin and a lady, and I feel like her romances typically feature older women, or not old, but women who aren't like 19. Okay, and usually they're not perfect, like visions of ethereal beauty. They can be beautiful, but just not like, you know, your typical like descriptions of the women. And the men the same. They're also older and usually a little more mature. So I am excited to figure that out. But the other thing I am interested in is Metal Slinger, mainly because I really don't want that surprise spoiled on accident. And sometimes that happens, and that is like the worst thing ever. If someone spoils a book, you're like, no! So I think I'm gonna go with Metal Slinger this month. And so that is my 5th book. All right, next let's see if I can get, who was that? That was me picking a prompt, so I gotta get Emma back here. All right, so Emma's here. She's gonna pull a prompt with her unicorn. Here comes the unicorn. Get the little unicorn mitt in there, let me help you. There you go. Okay, what did the unicorn pick? A book the same color as Emma's shirt. Here, let me see your arm. I'll show them your arm. She's wearing pink. So I get to pick a book that is pink. Okay, thank you, Emma. All right, I'm back, and I have with me a bunch of pink books, which is exciting. One of them is Soulfire. This is a book I chose solely based on the cover because I just thought it was pretty and it looked romantic, and I was in a romance mood when I bought it. It's definitely romantic-y. Then I have the Vanishing Cherry Blossom Bookshop, which is like a magical bookshop set in Japan, and it's very, very short. Then I have Severance by Ling Ma, which I believe is it dystopian or apocalypse or zombie? It's something along those lines. And also, excuse me, also kind of a comedy. Then I have The Princess Knight, a novel by, is that Kate? Kate Jacobs. And this is like Legally Blonde, but with knights and stuff in the medieval times. So that could be kind of fun. And then I have The Wicked Sea, which is like a Little Mermaid retelling, but I think it's kind of dark and it might have some spice in it. But it's really beautiful book. Oh my gosh. Okay, so all these really pretty pink books. I'm gonna narrow it down to 2 of them. And, what do I want to read? I think I'm going to choose between Severance by Ling Ma and The Princess Knight. I feel like both of these have comedy elements, and I'm always looking for a book in between some serious ones that are just really light and a little bit funny to kind of keep me going. And maybe these won't be that light, who knows? But I think just because this one looks, how many pages is this? 300, 478. Ooh, almost 500 pages, I think, for this one. And this one is a lot less. It's not gonna be 500. Oh yeah, it's like barely 300. So not even 300. So I'm gonna go with Severance by Ling Ma. And I'm excited to get into it. Okay, cool. Next child. Let me see if Heidi is willing to pull for me again. Here's Heidi. She will reach in. She wants me to, there we go. She'll throw. Ah! And I will grab it from the ground. Don't worry, I'm not 42. Okay, here we go. A book with a book on the cover. Ooh, fun. All right, I'm gonna go look for a book with a book on the cover. All right, so for book with a book on the cover, there were a bunch, but honestly, since I already know which one I'm gonna pick, I'm just gonna show you that one. And that is The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon, Volume 3. I'm hooked on this series. I'm addicted. I need to read more. I need to own more. I want them, and I'm getting them in hardcover, which is foolish because they're more expensive that way, but I know that they'll last longer. I won't damage them, and I'll have them forever since I'm loving them so very, very much. Just to show you a couple of the others, I did have the Book Jumper, which does feature a person who's able to travel between book worlds, and that sounds really exciting. And then also Paladin's Grace also had a book, and it was really tempting to choose it because I am always looking for that T. Kingfisher fix, but it has to be The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon. Okay, next. All right, Odin's here. He's gonna choose for me the next prompt. Dun, 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 dun.
I have a lot of them left.
Yes, I know. I think I'm gonna go through all of them today. Let's see, what's it say?
A book you think you won't like.
Oh. Good, that helps me weed out my library, so that'll be good. All right, so it's really hard to choose a book that you think you won't like in a library that you kind of curated for yourself. So I do have some options for me, and I'll tell you why I chose them as I go. One is Abby Jimenez, Part of Your World, and I think the reason I might not like this book is it does feature an age gap. I believe she's older than he is by I don't know how many years. It depends on how many years the gap is, but I have a hard time with age gap romance. It's not for me. I understand that there are people out there in relationships that fit that mold, and that's wonderful for them. I'm happy. But when I read, I have a hard time connecting to it because I think of myself in that role, and I could never, I can't associate with people, romantically that are that much younger than me. It makes me feel a little uncomfortable. But if the gap isn't that great and it works in the writing, then it could be really good. I don't know. Another option is Burn for Me, and the reason is the title is so cheesy. I am worried. However, the author Ilana Andrews, recently I read a book from her. I read This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me, and that was fantastic. So I kind of have hopes for this one, but it could be like an earlier, cringier work, and so maybe it won't be good. But I am curious. Another option for me is Silver Elite by Danny Francis. This book has had some really mixed reviews online, and even so far as some people saying that it was written by AI, which really does not help. However, is a whole other group of people who really love this book so much that they're reading the second, and so it can't be that bad, can it? I don't know. So I am hesitant to start this book because I'm worried about that. Like, how is this book gonna feel? But it would be good to weed it out because it's pretty big, and that would help give me some shelf space. Another option I have here is, and this could be cheating because I do want to read this, but I don't know if I will like it. And that is From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. It's a contemporary romance, and they're very hit or miss for me. And I haven't read any sport romances in my life, so I don't know how I'm going to take to that genre as well. I am worried that it's going to be too cringy, too whatever, but I really want to try one this month, so I want to read one, but I'm not sure I'm going to like it. The other option I have is A Vow in Vengeance, and this is an an Allurial edition of a book that I got. I don't love the cover. Like, I think, honestly, no offense to the artist, it just doesn't really elevate it to an adult novel. It looks kind of like something maybe you'd find in a YA section, but I don't know how I feel about it. So the cover kind of makes me feel a little cringy, but the description of the story was good, so I don't know. I guess of these, the ones I want to read most are probably going to be Burn for Me by Ilana Andrews because I trust the author, and From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. So I think of the two, I've been wanting to read this more. I'm going to give this a go. It's thicker, it'll help me get it off my shelf, and I am worried I'm not going to like it, but I could also like it. So I think that's what I'm going to go for with this prompt. All right, next, let's see. All right, so it'll be my turn. There are 1, 2, 3 more prompts. Should I save those for my kids? Probably. All right, let's see if I can get them to come out and pull another prompt. This year she's gonna pull her last prompt. Yeah, she chose one. And it says, dun, 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 a book with an eerie cover. Woo! Okay, so I'm back. I have with me a big chunk of books that are eerie in nature for their covers. I have so many that I'm not sure which ones I'll be showing off, but I have with me The 13th Child, and this book features like a staircase going up, and there's like a skull up there and some dripping wax candles. That does look kind of eerie. I have Crank, which kind of looks eerie in a more like, you know, there's isn't it crystal meth that this book is about, and it's written in like poems or whatever, and it kind of is like a downward spiral of addiction, and that in itself is kind of eerie and creepy, and it's done with like lines of some kind of drug on the cover. So that's creepy and eerie. And then I have Fallen, which is another book that I probably could have put on my books I might not like. Like, I'm worried that I won't like this book. And that's a good one to put on my TBR because then I can weed them out. And I've been trying to do that. Then I have Seven Deadly Shadows, and it's kind of eerie in the sense that you've got this like gate and there's like kind of ethereal looking things around, so it's kind of got a ghosty vibe. Then I have Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes, and it's like a ghost ship, and there's like a hand on the outside of the glass and space, and that kind of is eerie. And then I have Gilded by Marissa Meyer, and I've been aching to get into another Marissa Meyer series because I really love the Lunar Chronicles so much, and this one I believe is this based on Rumpelstiltskin, or I can't remember which fairy tale it's based off, but it's supposed to be an adult novel versus a YA, I think, and so I'm excited. Maybe it is YA. Is it YA or is it adult? I'll have to look into that. But either way, I'm happy to read it. I think it sounds really good. So of these books, the one the ones I'm most interested in reading, they're very different in nature. So one would be Gilded by Marissa Meyer, because I really want to read another one of her series. I had such a great time with Lunar Chronicles. The other is Crank, which is a poetry kind of book. Like, it's not really it's a story, but it's told in poems, and it's like this battle for addiction and this downward spiral that happens. And I really was kind of like a heavy novel, but it's also, I think it'll go by really fast because of the poems. Then I have the other one I'm really into. I want to read all of these. There's so many good ones. I do want to read Dead Silence too, but I think I'm more interested in Seven Deadly Shadows, because I love Asian-inspired fantasies, and this is an Asian-inspired fantasy. And I believe, let me look into it real quick and tell you what it's about. Yes, so I did a little research so I wouldn't sound like too much of an idiot, but basically her and this half kitsune yokai are going to help because her shrine was attacked, and she enlists the help of these 7 like gods or whatever, shadow gods, to help fight back these demons that are attacking. And I don't know, it sounds exciting and fun, and I love Asian fantasies, like I've said probably 1,000 times on my channel, but that's just the truth of it. So those are the 3 that I'm most interested in. Oh my goodness. And I feel like I'm really gonna love this. But I think I want to read Crank, which is so weird. I don't know why I'm doing, I guess I just am in the mood, I think, for something. I like when books are written in a different format. That's like one of the things that really gets me. I'm like, okay, yeah, I gotta try it. So I'm gonna put Crank on there, and I'm gonna, probably be depressed reading it, or maybe I'll hate it. And then I'll take this really thick book off my shelf, and I'm always happy to do that. Okay, next prompts. There's 2 left. I'm gonna call Odin and see if he'll pull one for me. Here is Odin. He's gonna pull one of the last 2 prompts for me. Dun, da, da, da. Okay, and it says?
Start a new series.
Yes! Those are the best. All right, thank you. I'm gonna start a new series. I'm in the middle of probably over 30 of them, but that's okay because I love starting new series. So I'll be right back with some series I've been itching to get my teeth into. All right, so I'm back, and I have with me the books that I am most excited to start new series with, at least for now. That's always subject to change, but I have with me a couple here. I'll show you. One is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This is a dystopian novel where I believe to prevent overpopulation, certain people are kind of assigned this role of whatever this person is. Like, they kind of go like a reaper, and they kind of cull the population, or I don't know who gets chosen to die or why, because I didn't look that deep into it, but it's been around for a long time. It's obviously an award winner of some sort, and I am excited to try that series out. I also have The Iron King, which is the first book in the Iron Fae by Julie Kagawa. I read another series by her, and I really liked it. It was set in Japan, and it had yokai. This one is going to be with fairies and stuff, or fae in a magical landscape, I believe. But anyway, I wanted to try another series from the author because the ending of the last series, I love the book series so much, but the ending kind of made me mad. It wasn't horrible, it was definitely redeemable, but I wanted to try a different series and see how she goes with that before I make up my mind on this author. And then I have The Road of Bones by Demi Winters. This is a Viking-inspired fantasy, and I believe there is a love triangle involved. Also, booktuber I've been watching, Jamie Falk, she's recently read this and really loved it, so that gives this a really good, like, ooh, this could be a good one. Another book I'm excited to try is Velocity Weapon, because I've been excited to try a new sci-fi series, and one of those series is really daunting, so I didn't put it on this, and that's the Expanse-based one. What is that called again? I'll put it down here, I guess, if I can remember the name. But anyway, I have Velocity Weapon because I believe this is a trilogy, so it's like a little smaller series that I can sink my teeth into. And I can't remember where I read about it or watched it on YouTube, but someone suggested this and it sounded so exciting, like right out the gate. And so I thought, okay, I love sci-fi, so let's put that on there. And then I have The Jasad Heir by Sarah Hashim. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce that every time. But anyway, this is supposed to be really good for people who like books like Swordcatcher and whatever, kind of like a slow building, very political, plot-driven romance slash fantasy. And so I am excited to get into this because I think those type of fantasies tend to stick with me the longest as my favorites. So this could be an option. And I believe this is set kind of Middle Eastern or Egyptian or something along those lines. So that's really cool. And then another series I've had on my shelf for a really long time, and I didn't even register until I was looking around. I was like, oh yeah, I have that. And I was interested in reading that once. Why didn't I ever grab it? It's The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart, and I believe this is also kind of an Asian-based fantasy. And I believe there is a girl, she's like the daughter of a king, but she's not the heir, and there's some kind of thing, and it's going to be like a really political drama slash intense fantasy, so I'm excited to read about it. So that is an option. And I believe also, I'm looking at the page on this one, it's a little less dense than some of the others. Though it is, maybe it's more dense because of the way it's written, who knows. Okay, so looking at these and looking at my stack, there are a couple that really, oh, I forgot the other one. I almost forgot. Gilded by Marissa Meyer. Is this my chance to read Gilded? I think, is it a duology? Does that count as a new series? I feel like a duology is a series. It's more than one book and it's starting something new. I want to read this one. Ooh, I do, but I also really was going to think maybe Scythe because it's YA and it's easier to digest and it's really famous, so it's supposed to be really good. But so is The Jasad Heir. Oh man, I don't know. Now the choices have become much more difficult. Do I choose Gilded, the Rumpelstiltskin inspired fantasy fairy tale retelling by Marissa Meyer, whom I love? Or do I read Scythe, the dystopian, which will be fast-paced and exciting? Ooh, I don't know. Oh, you know what? I'm looking at my list here, and there is a lot. Well, I'm gonna go with, oh my gosh, this is so hard. You have no idea. Okay, can I pick both? I think I'm gonna go with, I've got, let's see, three paperbacks already, and I like hardcovers, and I do have a lot of hardcovers, but this will fit. Let me see which one. How many pages? That's usually the indicator for me, right? This has got 500 pages. And this one has like probably around 400. So it's like 100 less pages. And it's an award winner. I think I'm gonna go with Scythe this time. We'll see. All right, Scythe it is. Sorry, Marissa Meyer. All right, there's one last prompt. So I'm just gonna pull it out. And it's a book with jewelry on the cover. Okay, jewelry on the cover. I think we can find something. All right, I'm back, and with me I have 5 books with jewelry on the cover, 4 of which are crowns, and 1 that is a pair of earrings. So let's get to showing them off. One is Gilded by Marissa Meyer. This is starting a new series, but I'm really excited to start this series. Unfortunately though, 2 of these options are continuations of series, and I feel like I should really invest more in those than starting a whole new one when I get the chance. One of those is The Eye of the Bedlam Bride by Matt Dinniman. The sheer size of this book is really intimidating. Though I love Dungeon Crawler Carl, I love his world, I love the story so far, and I know that progressively the series for me has been getting better and better. It's not for everyone, but it is for me, and so this is a good option. However, I will say this will take up a lot of my reading time in the month of August. All right, another option for me is The Nightblood Prince, and this sounds so exciting. It's like a vampire-esque love triangle, Asian-inspired fantasy, and I am here for it. However, and I don't know, this is also, I think, a standalone, isn't it? Or is this gonna be a series? Oh, I should look that up. Well, whatever, I'm gonna put it down for now. We'll look it up if I choose it. I have also with me was it the 4th or the 5th? Oh, the Iron King, which has a crown, as you can see on the cover right there. And this was also featured in my little new series I wanted to start videos. So I think Gilded honestly holds a higher chance of winning than the Iron King. And then the last one I have is the Apothecary Diaries Volume 6. I haven't picked one up from this series in a while, so I'm anxious to get back into it. Also, Mau Mau is wearing earrings on the cover. So, I mean, it's hard to see because she's upside down, but she does have some earrings on. And so, honestly, I think of all these, it's a continuation of a series. It's not that long, and I've put a little bit of a gap between my last couple months of reading and the series, so I'm going to pick this one. And so that is the last of the prompts. Now, for the final portion of my TBR video, I am going to be putting my TBR spinner to use on my tablet. So I'll get that set up and I'll be right there. Alright, just like last month, because this wasn't like from a prompt, it's just me adding it to my TBR at random. If it's over like 1,000 pages or it's just some massive chunk of a book that I'm not feeling, I am going to respin because I don't know if I can handle like reading, you know, The Stand on top of this. So just give me a moment and we will get it going. First, I want to get my spinner there. So I have my little spinner. It looks really cool, like a galaxy, and I'm just going to tap and spin and we'll see what it lands on. Hopefully a good one. And we get Anathema. Oh, that's actually one of the ones I read last month. How random. I'm going to remove it and I'm going to spin again. That's so random. Let's shuffle. Because if you don't shuffle these things, it gets really like, I don't think it's perfectly random, this wheel. Like it kind of, it'll land on the same one just more than you think it would. All right, here we go. We're spinning. We're going to see what happens. Sorry for the glare from my camera thing there. And it says, what does it say? From Look Up With Love. How weird is it that it's doing this? That's on my TBR. I'm not going to remove it because I haven't read it yet. But we are going to spin again. My gosh, what are the odds? I mean, I have a massive TBR, so this is nuts. The Dead Romantics. Okay, that one I don't have in my stack and I haven't read it yet, so I will grab it and put it in and read what it's about. Alright, so this is The Dead Romantics. It's by Ashley Poston, who's apparently really famous with romance. I've only read one book from hers and it was a sci-fi, but I really liked it, so that was really good. This one features like some kind of a writer and her editor is pressuring her to get some kind of deadline in. Unfortunately, her father dies and she finds herself going back home to her hometown where she doesn't want to be and, you know, attending his funeral. She wants to leave as quickly as she can. However, she ends up running into the ghost of her editor, who's apparently dead. And somehow there is a romance involved between her and her ghost editor, and I'm excited to give that a shot. It actually sounds pretty cute, and especially because I was considering how this summer I haven't read enough contemporary romances, and even though this one has some supernatural elements, I feel like it's going to run a little bit more common like a normal romance would go. And so that's just what I want, I think, in summer. And so yay, I'm glad that the wheel chose this for me, and hopefully it's a good book. Alright, I'm going to clear this table off a little and then I'll show you my stack of books. Alright, I'm back, and with me I have a giant stack of books here and I will show them to you. Won't even fit on the same screen, will they? Well, I guess they will. I picked thin enough ones that they made it. Alright, well, I'm going to go over each book and their prompts just from the top of the stack. And so the first one on the stack right now is from Look Off With Love by Mariana Zapata, and this was for a book you think you might not like, or a book you think you won't like, or something along those lines. The wording might change a little. Give me some leeway. All right, and then the next book on that list is Crank by Ellen Hopkins for a book with an eerie cover. Then I had the prompt to start a new series of my choosing, and I chose to start Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This is a really popular YA dystopian series, and I guess it's award-winning, so hopefully it's really good. Then I had a prompt that said a book with jewelry on the cover, and I chose The Apothecary Diaries, Volume 6 by Natsu Hyuga. I used my spinning wheel at the end to choose a book at random, and it chose for me The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I had a book with books on the cover, and I chose The Unselected Journal of Emma M. Lyon, Volume 3. I'm so excited. Then I had a book, the color of my daughter Emma's shirt, and she was wearing a pink pajama top at the time, and so I have Severance by Ling Ma. Then I had a prompt that said a book with a weapon on the cover, and I chose Metal Slinger by Rachel Schneider. Ding. Then I had a prompt that said a book with 2 or more authors, and so I chose Aurora Rising by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. Yet again, it's on the TBR. We shall see if I actually make it through it this month. Wish me luck. I also had the prompt a brown book, and so I chose The Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan, which is book 2 in the Percy Jackson series. Then I had Emma choose between 3 books that I chose, and she ended up picking for me The Legend of the Nine-Tailed Fox by Katrina Kwan. And then the very first prompt I had this time around was choose a reread, and so I'm going to restart my adventure with The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare and read Clockwork Angel. And I'm excited because I've never finished the series. I only read the Clockwork Angel and the Clockwork Prince, and I think Princess is the last one, Clockwork Princess. So I'm excited to finally get around to reading it after all these years, so that'll be really cool. All right, thank you for watching my August TBR, and I'm going to enjoy these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 books to choose from in the month of August, and hopefully I'll get to wheeling some of them down pronto. All right, have a good summer, survive the hottest month of the year, and I'll see you in the next one.